Heading into this game, the Leafs had a 5-point lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning for that second seed in the Atlantic Division, and the Leafs have that 3-point is the magic number for the Leafs to clinch that second spot in the Atlantic Division. And going into today, obviously second night of a back-to-back, Erik Källgren getting the start. We hear no John Tavares. He's going to be, resting or was load management they called it. We obviously know Michael Bunting, as Sheldon Keefe said yesterday, he's going to be out for some time, which we're scared when we hear that stuff. However, those guys are in the lineup. Still no Jake Muzzin. He won't play the rest of the season, as I said a while back that he probably shouldn't. And you're on the second night of a back-to-back in DC against the Caps. I knew this was going to be a very difficult game, and I got to be blatantly honest. When they got to 3-1 in the third period, I thought this game was long over. The Leafs had nothing going. And let's break this puppy down, though. We'll start in the first period with 5 minutes in. TJ Oshie, about the circle, just a beautiful shot. Far side, cheese, right in the corner. Past Erik Källgren, and the Caps are up 1-0, 5:34 into the first period. 7 minutes after that, though, a nice feed from Mitch Marner into I don't want to say streaking, Ilya Lyubushkin coming down from the point, but he gets it and he fires it on, but it hits, it was Nick Jensen's butt or somebody who in front of the net. It was definitely a Capital, and it redirects them and in past Vanacek, and the Leafs have tied the game at 1. All right, good stuff. We're right back in this one. And I can't remember when exactly these two happened, but the Leafs score a goal. Jason Spezza's got it, and it was a beautiful shot, and we're like, oh, baby, the Leafs got the lead. But hold on a second. They go to review. Abruizzi is offside by about yay much. And it's no goal. Great. Back to a 1-1 game. Then TJ Oshie scores. Great. Now you're down 2-1. Tampa's beating up on Florida. Oh, God, this is not looking good. We see a 3-point gap feeling just coming in hot right away. But hold on. They review it for a hand pass from John Carlson. They review it. They overturn it. And it's still a 1-1 game. So both teams have one goal that's been overturned, and we're even 1-1 after 2 periods of play. Shots on goal in the first were 13-7 in favor of Washington and 9-8 in favor of the Leafs in the second period. And we head to the third, and it's a 1-1 tie. Well, early in that third period, and this is where the Leafs defense just starts to collapse a little bit. Lars Eller scores 3:32 in to make it a 2-1 game. Then just over a minute after that, Marcus Johansson scores to make it a 3-1 game. And I'm like, the Leafs don't have their legs. Second night of a back-to-back. You're down 3-1. You're out a few guys as well. And your backup goalie's in the net. This is not good. This is not looking pretty at all. And then out of nowhere, Ilya Mikheyev picks the puck up, right, in the offensive zone around the net, at the red line, circles up high. Their coverage, the Capitals' coverage must have got mixed up or something, because he goes around and hits that circle and goes right to the net. There's no one even close to him. So he goes right to the net and beats Vanacek 5-hole. And I'm like, okay, this offense came out of nowhere. The Leafs have been nowhere to be found in the period. And now it's a 1-goal game. Mikheyev from Engvall and Dahlstrom. Carl Dahlstrom, and by the way, no Liljegren as well. He wasn't in the game as well. So now it's a 1-goal game. That goes at 12:36 of the third period. Leafs get a power play with like 6 minutes to go. I'm like, man, you got all the momentum. Let's bury one here. They might have hit a post. Marner has a great chance. You just can't beat Vanacek. And then you pull your goalie. And with a minute to go, Austin Matthews fires the puck from the slot. It goes wide, but Ilya Mikheyev is in behind the net, and he chips it to the front, and it's knocked in by Jason Spezza with 58 seconds left. It wasn't as pretty as his first goal that was disallowed, but it doesn't matter because this one counted, and it's in the back of the net, and the Leafs have tied it at 3. And Leaf fans, look, we talk so much about the Leafs blowing leads. The Caps had a 3-1 lead with 8 minutes to go in the game. And they ended the third period tied 3-3. The Leafs came back and pulled a reverse card on the Caps. And there's a tied 3-3 game after 3 periods of play. 12-12 in shots. And after that, final buzzer, okay, we're going to overtime. I'm like, okay, we got a point out of this somehow. So even if you lose in overtime or you lose in the shootout, you're still 4 up on Tampa, right? So you're still in okay shape here. But you still gotta win a game here and there. And you play Detroit next, which is very winnable. But let's not get to that yet. In overtime, early on, Matthews has a glorious chance, rings one off the post. And I'm like, yep, it's fitting. And I said in the last video, this hockey is such a game of inches, it's crazy, right? Like, if Aberweezy was onside, that would have been a goal, right? If John Carlson didn't swat the puck down, right, it would have been a goal. If Matthews hit the post about, I don't know, a few centimeters to the inside a bit more, that's going post and in, the game is over in OT. But no, it goes off the post and comes out. A little while later, with about a minute 40 to go in overtime, Nylander jump, like it looks like they're coming down on a 2-on-1. Nylander jumps on the ice. And that's too many men. For the 14th time this season, the Leafs get caught with a too many men penalty. They ended up not scoring on the 2-on-1 because it did get disrupted by Nylander. But you know what? You put them in the power play, you take away that advantage, that 2-on-1 that they had, and then you go to the 4-on-3. Källgren makes a few stops, the Leafs clear the puck, they don't get anything going, and the horn goes, and I'm like, wow, okay, so they have that glorious chance, and they don't score in overtime. And now you're going to the worst thing in hockey. I don't care that the Leafs won it, the shootout. You give me 5 more minutes of that overtime period, this game is over, and if it's not, fine, give me the shootout. But anyways, we go to the worst thing in hockey, the shootout. And I believe they scored to start. And then Jason Spezza comes down. Full speed. Down the far side. And goes to his backhand and roofs it. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, we forget when Jason Spezza has these really cold streaks, how dynamite of a shot this guy actually has. The goal that got disallowed, ridiculous. Barring in. Right? That shootout goal, nasty. And it's tied 1-1. Then, and this is where honestly, guys, and this is where the shootout gets boring for me. Honestly, because the Kuznetsov one that they scored, the first one for Washington, was crazy because he lost the puck, he's twiddling his stick around, doing some little fancy stuff. I'm like, okay, I've never seen this. I want to give him the middle finger a little bit, but you know what? It's entertaining, fine, and he scores. Jason Spezza coming flying down, forehand, backhand cheese. I'm like, oh my, that's nasty. And what do the rest of the shooters do? Come down with some speed or no speed from a right wing, shot. And I'm like, okay, like, I want to go to bed tonight. Like, is someone going to do something? And I think it takes like 7 or 8 rounds. And Alex Kerfoot, I mean, he does exactly what I don't like, but this time it goes 5-hole on Vanacek, and he scores the shootout winner, and the Leafs come from behind to win 4-3 in the shootout. With the win, the Leafs are now 52-21-7 on the season. In overtime, shots on goal were 3-2 in favor of the Caps. Shots for the game were 36-30 in favor of Washington. And not a lot of credit's going to go to Eric Källgren because you're going to see about the shootout winner. You're going to see Mikheyev at the comeback. You know, Spezza had 2 goals. No, Eric Källgren is my MVP, no doubt. He was phenomenal tonight. Honestly, after that 3-1 goal against, and yeah, the Leafs started to chip away, but he did not break after that. He made some big stops in that third period. Then he made a couple massive stops in overtime. And then the shootout, the guy stopped like 6 or 7 straight. And we're not talking about some schmuck fourth liners like Kyle Clifford and whatnot taking the shootout. No, he's stopping TJ Sochi, Nick Backstrom, you know, John Carlson's coming down. The Marcus Johansson's coming. These guys who can score. And he's stopping them point blank. You got to give that kid a ton of credit tonight. Yeah, he's had a very shaky, I think it's like 4 goals in his last, in four straight starts or something like that. But tonight, he was great. He was fantastic, was Eric Källgren today. Great job for him tonight. Special teams-wise, meaningless for both teams. They were 0-2. They were 0-3 in the power play. The Leafs were 0-2. And Eric Källgren, 3 goals on 36 shots. He was absolutely fantastic. See what a good goaltending performance does to you? It takes you a long, long way, and it's beautiful to watch. Now, Ilya Mikheyev with goal number 20 on the season. He had a goal and an assist today. Austin Matthews had some glorious opportunities for goal number 59 and 60, but could not bury anything, including the post in overtime. And then he gets to the shootout, and he rings one off the post again. The hockey gods were saying nope to Austin Matthews today, but he did have 2 assists in this one, so you got to give him credit for that. Now, obviously, you guys know, if you've watched my videos and know deep about, you know, what I talk about, you'll know I'm a massive Alex Ovechkin fan. Got his jersey, watched him all his career. You know, when the Leafs were down in the dumps, I'm live streaming Cap games, watching the Cup. win the cup, crying while he's winning the cup. So that's my favorite player. You know what I mean? And seeing him go down after the trip by Eric Schellinger, which I'm kind of shocked was not a penalty, but goes in, hits his shoulder. Look, knowing Ovi, he'll be fine. He'll be in the playoffs, no doubt, because it's Alex Ovechkin. The guy's a bruiser. Yeah, he'll be fine for the playoffs, but just hoping that he's okay. All right? Leaf fans, the next game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and if they get a point or win on home ice against the Detroit Red Wings or the final game of the season against the Boston Bruins, either game, you win or get a point in either game, you clinch the number 2 seed. Or Tampa lose one of their final 3 games, I believe. I believe that they lose one of their final 3 games, and the Leafs, even if they lose out, doesn't matter. The Leafs win tonight, there's a 1-point magic number. So if Tampa loses 1 game, or if the Leafs, or even if they lose an overtime or a shootout, I believe, if Tampa, I can't remember exactly. You guys have to check that on me. The Leafs just got to win a game. You play Detroit. Team is not very good. On Tuesday, on home ice at 7 o'clock. You go out there on home ice, get the win, clinch the number 2 seed, then you rest against Boston. That's my take on this game. That's my take on the final 2 games of the regular season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are as baffled as I am, but as happy as I am, that the Leafs came back and won this game and pulled a reverse card on the Caps today, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Maple Leafs? I didn't think they played very well, but you got to win against a playoff team. Yeah, it was a garbage shootout because it's terrible. But the fact that they came back and forced OT when they weren't playing well, got to give these guys a lot of credit for that. Great job by the Buds tonight. Twitter, Instagram, all that's down in the description. I'll be talking to you guys. Okay, where are we here? Raptors edition tomorrow night as they are in Philly taking on the 76ers, an 8 o'clock tip-off. In Philly for Game 5 as the Raptors look to survive. That's really all there is to it. You look to survive and force a Game 6. They play tomorrow at 8 in Philly. All right. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, they start a home series against the Boston Red Sox for 4. Tomorrow night, Jose Barrios versus Nathan Eovaldi is the pitching matchup at Rogers Center. 7:07 first pitch there in Game 1 of the 4-game series against the Sox. And as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, 2 more games remain of the regular season. And the first one up, Detroit on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Puck drop there at Scotiabank Arena as the Buds look to clinch the number 2 seed in the Atlantic Division. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the finish to tonight's game. We'll talk to you guys then.